All right, so the disclaimer, the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradedictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstrations do not indicate in any way the results you may receive by using the product. Okay, with that disclaimer out of the way, hello everyone, this is Opa Bert, streaming live to you from Bien Hoa City, Dong Nai Province in Vietnam. I'm at the Pegasus Plaza in downtown Bien Hoa. I stream every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Vietnam time, and that's about 3 a.m. currently in London and 10 p.m. on Tuesday night on the U.S. East Coast. This is Nailing FX, Spot Forex Trading Simplified. Here is the complete January trading schedule. Today is Wednesday here in Vietnam, the 6th of January, and we're streaming live on FX Street. Next week, on the 20th here in Vietnam, I will be streaming live on YouTube. So make sure that you follow this schedule. Now, to get this schedule, you just need to sign up at www.tradewithufos.com/OPA, and you click on the button at the top left and it'll give you the schedule and you'll be able to put it into your calendar. All right, so let's continue on here. As I just said, we are trading with UFOs, so let's continue here. And Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone out there. So I hope you have a very healthy, happy, and prosperous trading new year. We're going to continue our review. Last week, we did a review of the profiles so that you understand how the profiles can be viewed. And especially, we looked at the what I call FX Forex math, how you can determine the strength of the US dollar and how you determine the strongest and the weakest currency pair so that you can increase the probability of getting a good trade. So that was last week. Today we're going to focus on the templates and the primary indicators on those templates, and I'll show you each template, and we will look at the settings for those templates in case you have to redo those templates. If we have some time, we'll go into also looking at TradingView and maybe hunt for some trades. All right, so let's continue. So here are the profiles that we went through last week. Today we're going to go through these templates. The default template, the logic day trading template is not one of my indicators. It is a commercial indicator, but I will show you how I use it. Okay, we'll set up the full template. I'll show you this, the full template, and then we'll go through the individual ones. This is a little bit out of order, but those are different templates that you get. And if you haven't sent a request to me at fxopabert@gmail.com, you can request my Christmas package, my Christmas gift package, and it has all this information in it. So let's continue here. These are the additional indicators that I use. These are additional indicators that I use. And you can get all of these, and these do not require any evaluation. They will always work on your computer. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let's see if we can. We always do live, real-time charts because I don't want to ever be accused of providing information that is back-tested or is cherry-picked or things like that. Everything I do here on in these sessions is live. And so if you see that I do something, you know it's live. Again, just to reiterate, these Nailing FX sessions and the trading tools can be found by subscribing to tradewithufos.com/OPA, or you can do a simple Google search using Nailing FX OPA BERT as your search. And you can get the weekly Nailing FX summary videos. I try to put out a summary video each week. You'll be able to get all that information. All right, so now let me get out of this and get right into the templates. All right, so the first template that I have created is called the basic or default template. Basic or default template. And it is nothing more than a candlestick chart. And you can see that this is a live candlestick chart. It happens to be a 1-hour chart. I will switch it over to 1 minute so that we can confirm that it is live, and there you go. Hopefully you can see that there is some movement between the bid and ask here on the 1 minute chart. So that depicts that we are live on this chart, okay? So let me go ahead and go back. Usually I'm on a daily chart. So here is a candlestick chart, the basic or default chart. Whenever I bring up a new chart, by setting it as the default, you will always get this chart. So let me go ahead, go to File, New Chart, and you can see I can go to the Euro GBP, and this is a .pro chart. Now, depending on the broker that you have, there may be a suffix at the end of the currency pair symbol. So that suffix sometimes is a prefix, but usually it's a suffix that identifies whether it's a standard charting or whether it's using raw spreads, depending on how you set up with the broker. So you need to know what that is. So this says pro. That means that I am using raw broker spreads on this chart. Okay. So as I said, if I click on Euro GBP, or let me go to Aussie USD, since that's one of the most popular ones. All right. So here you see now it has come up as an hourly. And I can switch it to daily, but what you see here, and I can open it up a little bit, it's set up so that it shows me, because the default template is set up this way, any chart that I bring up will automatically come up with the default, and it just shows a candlestick chart identified in green and red, green moving up, price moving up for the period, red price moving down for the period, and it'll always show the spread in points. So what are the settings? What are the parameters for this basic chart? So let's go and look at the chart properties, okay? So here you can see this is the chart properties, and this would be for any chart. And my background is white smoke white smoke. The foreground is black. The grid is green. A bar up, and the bar up identifies the wicks, okay? A bar up wick will be green, and a down bar wick, down bar candle will be maroon, darker red. The body of a bull candle will show up as lime green. The body of a bear candle will show up as red. A line graph I have set up as indigo, and volumes, if I use volumes, will show up as blue. I have an ask line that's orange, and I have stop levels that are red. Okay, so that's the basic chart setup. You can see it here just to the left of the parameters. Now let's go to the common. Okay, I usually have the chart on the foreground. Sometimes I will change that and put the chart into the background, and I just unclick foreground. Chart shift and chart auto scroll are usually on, but if I'm looking back in history, I want to turn off the auto scroll. Otherwise, with any new price information, the chart will jump to the current candle. This is a candlestick chart. There's nothing really needed in this lower left box. I do have show open, high, low, close, so that if my cursor goes over, if I put it onto a candle at the high or lower close, it will show me what the values are. I have show the ask line so that I can see the spread. I can see the spread on a chart, the spread between the bid and the ask. I don't usually have any other things identified. I don't show the period separators or the grid. Sometimes I will look at those a little bit, but under normal circumstances, that's the setup for the basic chart. And then you just click OK. And in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and cancel, or I can just click OK because it's not going to change anything. So now here is the spread. The spread indicator is applied to the default so that I always know what the spread is. What's the difference between the bid and the ask? So let's go ahead and look at the indicator. All right. That's interesting. All right, so let me go ahead and bring up the indicator. The indicator is 00, zebra spread. Okay. All right, so here you can see that the inputs on the standard zebra spread are different from the chart, what you see on the chart. So I usually, and you can change this any way you like, but the indicator is, I usually set that up so that it is, and I just picked the top right here, it says midnight blue. Okay, font size, I changed the font size to 10. I leave it at Arial, Now the corner is top left of the chart is 0, top right of the chart is 1, and bottom left, bottom right. So I'm going to change this to a 1 so that it goes to the top. Spread distance, the X and Y spread distance are both going to be 10. So 10 and 10. So the XY down from the top of the chart to over to the left of the chart, because I'm in the upper right corner, Normalize, I'll just leave as false, and that's it. So I say okay. And now we can see that this indicator is set up correctly. And I can see that the spread is 2 points. 2 points. Now it changed to 3 points, 4 points, 2, 3, 4 points. Now a point is 1/10 of a pip. A point is 1/10 of a pip. So this becomes critical that you understand the value of having a raw spread compared to having a broker's spread, because the raw spread being much tighter usually means that in the event that price is approaching your stop, you won't get stopped out prematurely, right? If you have a large spread, the bid-ask being large, you could get stopped out much earlier. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to close this chart. I'm going to move my little face here, close this chart. Now you see here on this Euro chart, it hasn't set up properly on this. This shows 1.1 points. So this indicator is not set up properly. You can see I don't have the indicator showing on my list here when I do a drop down on the chart. So let's go ahead and go back and do this one again. Set up the basic. Go quickly through this. I just picked the top right dark. Next one, font size 10. The corner 1, spread X and Y, both 10s, and nothing else, and say okay. And so here you see on the Euro USD, when I'm using a bank spread instead of the broker spread, if I'm using the raw spread that's available, much smaller, especially USD, sometimes zero point spread, so I'm only going to pay a commission. All right, so that's the basic chart. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the zebra channel. Now, the basic chart always stays, you can see here, indicator list. Now I have the indicator list. The only indicator I have on the chart is the zebra spread. So now I'm going to add an indicator on here. And the indicator that I'm going to add on here is indicator 33, and that is the zebra channel, okay? And that's a priority indicator that you can get. I can provide it to you. You'll have an evaluation period, and beyond the evaluation period, if you want to continue to use it, you will subscribe, and there's a small fee for that. All right, so here we can see that here are the inputs for this, okay? And I have the signal gap, and that just means that I'm moving the indicator, the little icon that shows up on the chart, a little bit away from either the high or the low, so that I have a little bit of a signal gap. And here we can see it says show time frame 1. Time frame 1 is the current time frame, and that is true. And then show time frame 2, normally I have that turned to false. Time frame 2 is the next higher time frame. So you can see the next higher time frame. Excuse me. And time frame 1 happens to be the current time frame. Time frame 2, set to automatic, will show the next higher time frame when show time frame 2 is true. You can change it from auto to any higher time frame than time frame 1. Okay, and the look back period, where you have 500 periods of look back to calculate. That's why sometimes you'll see the channel a little bit jagged. You have to just refresh by looking at a higher time frame and then going back to the lower time frame. And it says show alert wingding, and that is true. Okay, show the alert wingding. So that means that when price goes into the upper band or lower band of the channel, you get those channel dots, okay? And then we have the auto message, the alert message that we can have. We can have the sound alert. We can have an email alert. So these alert settings are available to you. The colors are set up automatically for you so that you don't really need to worry about that. And so we just say okay. And so now this is what on a basic chart, this is what the zebra channel alert, zebra channel will look like. Just the zebra channel indicator. So you can see here, indicator, we have the spread, which is standard on all my charts, and then the indicator for the channel. And what does that show? We've gone through the how to read this. I won't go through all the details. What we're focusing on is the templates that are available and how to use those settings. Okay, so now that we've seen the channel, I'm going to go to indicators and I'm going to remove the channel. Just hit the delete, close. So now we're back to a very basic chart, again the default chart, and I'm going to apply the alert with confirmation. So that is my indicator 48, alert and confirmation. So here we see the about, the alert confirmation. This is the information. It will tell you that if you're using a evaluation version, it's a fully functional evaluation version, but it will expire unless you decide to subscribe. Inputs are preset in this, You can make some changes. I don't recommend that you make some changes, but you can always go ahead in and see if something works better for you. Okay, you should always do the research, do the evaluation. And here you can see you have two signals that are available for your information. You can allow for the display arrows of the alerts, and you can allow for the display of the confirmation. Two different things. I usually have both of those checked, and I can get push information, push notices. You can set up a push so that when your chart is live, it will automatically send you a message to your cell phone, to your hand phone, so that you know that an alert has popped up. And you can have it both, the arrows and the confirmation signal, or you can have just one of, or neither. Okay, so right now this is set all to false, and so we'll say okay. And so here, what you see here now on the basic chart is just the alert and the alert confirmation. I'm looking at a daily chart, so let's go ahead and go down to an hourly chart. You'll see that on the hourly chart, you're getting many more alerts, The lower you go in your time frame, the more alerts you're going to get. The more alerts you get, the more likely that many of those alerts will fail, okay? So you have to weigh things in terms of your account size and what it is that you're trying to accomplish in order to take those trades. So these are the alert arrows, the red arrow, green arrow. If you can see my cursor, sometimes it's very difficult to see my cursor. Here is I'm looking at the center of the chart, top center of the chart. There's a red alert, and in the next period, that is actually a circle, a red circle with a white arrow superimposed into it. That is the alert. Some people have questioned what that is. So that's the confirmation. Okay, and why does it show confirmation there? Well, you need to go back and do the research, look up the information at Trade with UFOs in some of my previous sessions, or you can go to my Facebook page and take a look there. So there's information on what these are. So those are the alerts and the confirmations. Alerts and confirmation. That's what you get when you turn on the indicator. Okay, that's alert and confirmation. So let's go ahead and again, I'm going to turn off this. Close that. So now we're back to the basic default chart, and now I'm going to show you the profile, and this is a combination. It is Zebra 6265 profile and SET. So let me go ahead and turn this on, and again you can find the information about the indicator and the inputs. We have a signal gap so that it doesn't overlay onto the candle. There's a look back period, and show set is set to true. Now show set means that we are going to see the red and blue arrows that are horizontal. They'll be to the right of the candles, and what they indicate is SET, stop, entries, and targets. And again, learning about those, you go back to some of my previous sessions for that. You can also see the crossover when the profile gets crossed, So you can see that. And then you can actually see the complete profile, blue line, red line, green line, and brown line. You can see the complete profile, and sometimes I have that turned off, sometimes I have it turned on. And you can see that you can also set, again, push notifications and when you have crossovers and things like that. So you can customize this to your personal taste. So what does it look like when everything is set up? Okay, so there is the complete profile and SET setup, complete profile and SET setup. And so what you're seeing is these blue arrows and the red arrows that face to the right, those are the SET arrows. In the profile, when you see that the profile switches from positive to negative, you'll see a red or green angle, okay, diagonal type of arrow. Now, we don't use all of this information all of the time. Sometimes we use all of it, but we filter out. And again, in the previous sessions, you'll be able to understand how this is done. So this is a complete profile and SET setup. Okay, so let's go ahead now and turn that off. See here the indicator list and indicator 62, 65. I'm going to delete that from the chart. Close. So now I'm back at the basic chart. Okay, so we've seen the profile chart and the SET combination chart together, and you can show them separately by changing parameters very easily. All right, the next chart I'm going to show you is the Ldt indicator. Now, the Ldt is not one of mine. It's a commercial indicator. I found that it is helpful. I don't use any indicator exclusively alone, okay? And if you've been following my sessions, you know that the value, the weight that I put onto a particular indicator depends heavily on the chart, on seeing the chart, where I am in the chart, which indicators are showing what. And you need to be able to focus on that. So I will show you now the Ldt indicator. And I've left everything set the way the commercial setup is done, and say OK. And so here the Ldt, here's the Ldt on the hourly chart. Okay. Now what you're seeing is some pink and light blue boxes. Okay. Now those boxes only appear when the final condition is reached. So they don't build on your chart. They show up at the end of the condition. Okay, once the condition is met, then they show. Now the Ldt, indicates to you if you were absolutely perfect in your trading and got in at the absolute best position and exit at the absolute best position, then the number of points that you would be able to pick up is shown by these lines, so that if you entered immediately at the designated point by the Ldt, the way the Ldt tries to be a standalone indicator that you don't need to use anything else. Unfortunately, there is no such thing. Okay, there is no indicator that, because if there was, trading would stop. There would be no more competition, because it just wouldn't go on. Now maybe some of the big guys, the big elephants in the trading arena, they have much better indicators and systems that they use, and they basically allow the market to move based on the needs of their clients. Okay, and they want to make money, they move their clients. But what is interesting is that the Ldt, usually, again, there's always exceptions. Usually, you'll usually go from a pink box to a blue box, and from a blue box to a pink box, and that cycle continues. Okay, so you've got a cycle going of price moving up and down, which is normal. And the LDT tries to give you an indication of where you should be looking to take an entry. And so it's a good indicator when used in conjunction with the other indicators that can help you identify what's going on. All right, so let me go ahead. And remember, this is a commercial indicator. I cannot provide it. You have to go to the source to get that particular indicator. So there's my indicator list. I'll take off the LDT. And so now we're back at the basic indicator. Okay. And close this. And so let's go ahead now and look at the final standalone indicator that I have here. And that is the spread, the zebra spread. And let me see if I can find that spread. Zebra spread. Where is my zebra spread? Here it is. Okay. Now, again, here's the information. It's a customized indicator. Look at the inputs, and there's really no input for this. You only get the information in terms of how you want the alerts. Colors, you can change some colors if you want to, based on what you're seeing. So I'll say okay. And so let me go ahead and put this up here. Now this is a standard MACD indicator. I'm not going to try to fool you and say that this is some kind of magical settings and it's a standard MACD indicator. Now, some people have asked me, why it doesn't have the two lines. Well, it doesn't really need the two lines because the histogram is the MACD and the signal line is the red line, okay? And what I've done is put some diamonds, and you can see these little red diamonds. When the histogram is dropping, when it's less than the prior, obviously, it shows red. It has a red diamond. If it is increasing, if it's greater than the prior period, it shows a blue diamond. So very simple. So if you wanted to find out, what's going on, you just look at that. Now, when the histogram crosses the signal line, the blue or the red diamond will have a yellow circle around it. Okay, that's that yellow circle around it. And inside the circle will be either a red or a blue diamond. And so that indicates that that we're seeing a change in the trend. Now, the trend usually doesn't change dramatically. Sometimes there's an indication. Again, the algorithm just shows you the basic difference. MACD, the moving average convergence and divergence differences. That's all it is. And so what I'm looking at is I will look for when I get these yellow circles and compare what's happening with the yellow circles with the indicators that I have on the chart. So that's basically the MACD, okay? And so that's those are the individual indicators, and you can have templates set up for the individual indicators however you like. So let me go ahead and again It's a lower window for the MACD. I'm going to delete that, close that. So now I'm back to my basic chart, my basic default template. And let's see if I can go to my template list and find, I'm going to go to load. Okay. And find my zebra template. I've got so many that I've been testing and trying to prove. Well, okay, let's see here. All right, so let me go to a daily chart here, the Euro USD. So what you see here now on the chart, you should be able to recognize that what I'm looking at is, first of all, I'm looking at the channel, right? There's the channel. And in the channel, we have the high band, the upper band, the lower band, and the middle band, okay? The next thing that we're seeing in the channel, and let's go ahead and go to the indicator list. We'll open this up a little bit more. Okay, so my basic spread indicator 33 is the zebra channel. And then I have my alerts and confirmation. Then I have my profile SET, and that's profile SET modified. Okay. And then I have my commercial logic LDT indicator along with the MACD. Okay. So those are everything. Basically, this is how I look at a chart. This is how I look at the chart. And when everything seems to line up, when everything lines up properly, I am inclined to take a trade. I like to take trades when everything lines up properly in a high band, in the upper band of the channel, or in the lower band. Sometimes I will take the trades in the middle part of the band, depending on what the setup was. And a lot of that information, again, is available in some of the lessons that I previously looked at. All right. So that is the complete setup for a trade. Okay. And I can look at this. This happens to be daily. I can go all the way down to a 5-minute chart, and I will open this up so that you can see. Again, a lot more whipsaw and a lot more indicators, even with some overlapping of indicators. So much more difficult to analyze the shorter term, much more difficult to analyze the shorter term. I like to look at what's going on in the higher time frames first, and then maybe go to lower time frames to try to get a better entry. That's the way you use multiple time frames, okay? Determine what you're going to do and then try to get the best entry possible. Now, one more thing that is interesting, and another resource that I use is TradingView. Okay, here is TradingView. And let me go ahead and expand this chart. Now, TradingView, this is the Trade with UFOs information that you can get on TradingView. Okay, so you want to register and subscribe to this information. It's another resource, and there is an entire curriculum that you can get, an online curriculum to teach you how to view and use this. I use it in a little different way than the standard Trade with UFOs pure approach. It's very similar, but just a little bit different. Now, on the trading view, let me go ahead and open this up a little bit so give a little better view here. What do you see on a trading view chart when it's set up with what's called the UFOs? Unfilled orders, UFO, unfilled buy orders, unfilled sell orders. Okay. Now I've highlighted this entire area here as a potential unfilled buy zone or a buy area, however you want to call it, it doesn't matter. And up here I have another little area here that I can see here. Whoops. Okay, so here, this red UFO is telling me that based on the algorithm and the previous movement of price, that the algorithm thinks that price should go down from that level. Does that mean it will? No. Remember, when we do analysis, we are trying to find the best situation. So here we're seeing that this is set up, looking at a setup. I'm looking at the Euro USD daily chart, and I see that I'm actually in, trading in a buy UFO area down in here. Okay, so let me go ahead and identify that. Okay. All right, so they're very close to each other. Sometimes they actually will overlap. So what are you looking at? What are you seeing on this chart? How does it correlate with your MT4 indicators? Well, number one, what you're looking at is the auto phase. These are these dark arrows, dark red and dark blue arrows that show. Those arrows are where the alerts in the MT4 created an alert scenario. Now in the MT4, if price is upgraded, or if there is a confirmation, those arrows don't stay. In the trading view charts, as soon as an arrow is identified, it will stay on the chart. So a little bit different. So you can get a historic perspective. And as you see on this chart, in the right-hand position, you can see a series of auto phase arrows. Those are alert arrows as price was moving up. So every time new data was completed during a period, the auto phase said, oh, sorry, I was wrong. It looks like the alert should be a little bit higher. Now, the auto phase is not confirmed by a confirmation. So we only see auto phase on the charts here. Sometimes again, there's no confirmation, so there's nothing happening there. Right, so that's the auto phase. Now we have an exponential moving average and a simple moving average. The blue and the red lines, those are the exact same indications. They're set up to mirror, to be the exact same image as the profile blue and red lines. So I'd only need to look at the blue and red. When blue is over red, price is likely moving up. When blue is below red, price is probably moving down. The distance between, and as that distance increases, the strength of the move changes. Okay, so what do you see here? First of all, you saw the UFOs. So price was saying that there was a probability that price is going to go up or down based on the algorithm that the UFO is using. And then you can compare that with the auto phase, which is the alert, and the profile information. Down below, we have what's called auto climate. Now, auto climate is kind of like if I would say, a combination of the currency channel and MACD. Okay, currency channel and MACD that you see in the MT4 charts. And what we look at here is we want to see where we have a color change in auto climate. Once there is a color change in auto climate, the auto climate, based on historical values and a lot of other indications, will do a quick calculation and give you an estimate in terms of how long that trend, so the auto climate is more of an indication of the trend, how long that trend should last. And you can see there's a little upward arrow for the auto climate, and then a number, and then there's a down arrow and a number, and then there's the current. So basically, when you look at current, you see that we are in the second period, currently in the second period. There's a number 2 after current. So we're in the second period of what? We're in the second period of a potential 5-period upward move. Okay? So we're in the second period of a 5-period upward move. Well, so if this changes to red, and there's a significance between small red and big red, and again, the way you learn this is going to the Trade with UFOs curriculum. There's a course designed by this, and in the future, I'm looking at also developing a course for this. All right, so this is really good information. We will focus on that a little bit more. I see that my time is up, and I hope that this session helps you to understand what the indicators are, how they look on a chart, and in future sessions we will start to focus on how you combine those indicators so that you can do a proper analysis. That's it for today. Thank you for being part of the session today. Good trading, Happy New Year, and I'll see you next week. So long, everyone.